Y'all remember when Doc Ock pulled a
I woke up in Chris Brown's body.
But instead of Chris Brown's body, it was instead his arch nemesis, Spider-Man. No, you don't remember that? Well, good news for you, buddy, because in today's video, we are in fact going to talk about one of Spider-Man's most weirder plot lines in the character's history, that being Superior Spider-Man. And the reason why I say weirder is because in the actual whole entirety of this story, Peter Parker, for the most part, doesn't do that much in Superior Spider-Man, and instead has more like a backseat role, as the actual main focus of this story is Otto Octavius. Yes, one of Spider-Man's arch nemesis who managed to get the upper hand on Peter and steal his body. Now, at first, the whole concept might sound a little goofy on paper, but boys, trust me when I say this comic is definitely worth reading. So without further ado, if you guys want more Superior Spider-Man content, let's get this video to 100 likes and I'll start pushing out more videos about this comic. Now, enough of me yapping, let's talk about the time when Peter got his body robbed by this boy Doc Ock.
Izzy, what the fuck?
So the issue starts off with the main man himself, Peter Benjamin Parker. And you know, he's doing his typical Spider-Man stuff, like swinging around the city, inner monologuing about being Spider-Man, and just fighting the villain of the week. Typical Spidey stuff that you normally expect from the web end. And after he's finished patrolling the streets as Spider-Man, he goes through his phone and goes through all these voicemails that have been slowly piling up from people trying to reach him. Like Mary Jane trying to invite him to the club, the hospital calling him back to visit his Aunt May, Horizon Labs trying to call him for his evaluation today, and the Daily Bugle notifying him that his subscription is almost finished, which is kinda strange because isn't Peter Parker supposed to be broke? Peter goes to Horizon Labs and has this quick brief conversation with Max. Max asking him if by the end of the quarter, he'll have made a new invention to show him. And Peter says with the previous inventions he's made before for Horizon Labs, which keep in mind have made the company millions of dollars, that those will look like complete baby toys compared to the new ideas he has in store. Walking away from Max with a cheeky grin on his face, he heads over to his personal lab, where we can see him experimenting on his web fluid. And while he's testing out his web fluid, he remarks on how much years he's wasted on his brilliance and intelligence. But after coming to Horizon Labs, things have changed. No more will his talents and gifts be wasted on. Now he'll start living up to his full potential as a man of science and, well, as a man. And he just knows where to start too. Opening up to the club, we have our boy Pete over here vibing with MJ, and he decides to lock in and spit some game. Being brutally blunt and straight to the point, he goes to Mary Jane and tells her that they think that they should stop playing around and just fully get together. But MJ is not going for that and decides to switch up the conversation by bringing up Aunt May being in the hospital. So then the two end up going to the hospital to meet up with Aunt May, but then abruptly, the Avengers would end up calling Pete, requesting him to head over to the raft where they need him. So he suits up and starts swinging over to the raft, where he reaches the entrance and sees these two security guards. He verifies that he's an Avenger and shows the two his ID, that way they can let him in. And once he ends up meeting with the Avengers right here, Cap tells Pete that Doc Ock is basically asking for him. And Pete's like, yeah, of course, I understand. But Cap is like, no, he's not asking for Spider-Man, he's asking for you, as in Peter Parker. So Pete hearing this is like, I bet. And everybody in the group walks through the facility, chatted it up about how Doc Ock is almost close to his deathbed. But once Peter actually finally arrives to confront his dying enemy, things start to get heavily, and I mean heavily, weird. Because when Peter reaches his foe to, I guess, give his goodbye since he's near death, Doc Ock says Peter Parker. And that's when the greatest reveal happens in this comic. Because it turns out, ladies and gentlemen, the person we've been following this whole entire time wasn't even Peter Parker. Because truth be told, the actual person we've been focusing on this whole entire time was the mad genius himself, Dr. Otto Octavius. What? Yeah, guys. That's right, we've been tricked this whole entire time. And if you haven't figured it out by now, Peter is in Doc Ock's body now, and Doc Ock is now in Peter's body. They both swap minds. And when Peter, or I guess Doc Ock for this matter, reveals the actual truth, he kinda just starts mocking, or I guess clowns on Peter, because if you actually think about it and use your head, Doc Ock low-key kinda defeated Peter right here. Because if we account for the fact that Doc Ock's body is literally the equivalent of that one old-ass worm from SpongeBob, then chat, it is safe to say that it is GG. There is no way in hell that my boy Peter is gonna recover from this. And funny enough too, I'm actually right, because at the bottom of the page, we just see our boy Pete just completely flatline on the bed, as Doc Ock calls in the medics and put back on his mask, leaving the room and walking away with the Avengers. Now kiddos, I know some of you guys might be asking, how in the world did Doc Ock switch minds with Peter? And it all traces back to when this tiny little robot right here managed to sneak up on Pete and zap his mind with all of Otto's consciousness into his body, while Pete's consciousness was put into Otto's body instead. Confusing, right? I know. Now without any options left, Peter decides to use the robot that swapped him with him and Otto's minds to hack into this machine and play a pre-recorded message of Otto offering $6 million to whoever can manage to free him from prison. So a couple hours pass by while Pete's rotting in prison, and the villains finally come in to help him escape and break out of his containment. Going back to Otto, we see him trying to get Rizzy with MJ, but every time this man shoots his shot, he ends up airballing horribly. Like, come on, Otto, you were this close to getting some cheeks, bro. Why in the hell do you have your costume underneath your clothes, gang? Like, no bullshit, but Otto is deadass 0 for 2 right now. You might as well just hang up the jersey and call it quits. But while Otto is butthurt at MJ, even though he fumbled her, he gets notified on his laptop that his ultimate nemesis managed to escape the superpowered prison. So Otto, knowing that Peter has probably like a couple more hours to live, just wants this whole shit to be over with. So he makes the decision to go in as Spider-Man and finish off Pete himself. We then go to Otto's secret lair, and the villains start hooking up Pete to Otto's mechanical arms, and they also try implementing life support onto his arms just to keep him a little bit more alive. And as the Trapster starts playing with a bunch of these buttons, he accidentally electrocutes Peter and sends him into a shock as he fades away from consciousness. Waking back up, he realizes that he's back at his hometown and also notices that everyone here is supposed to be dead. So either 1, he's most likely in heaven, or 2, he's having the most craziest dream of his lifetime. But before he could figure out what's even happening to him right now, Sable pops up and tells Peter that he's failed at being Spider-Man since he didn't kill Octavius when he had the chance. But then a familiar voice from behind Peter would comfort him, saying that if Pete decided to let a man die, even if it was a sworn enemy, then that wouldn't even make him Spider-Man in the first place. As then, in the next page, standing before Peter is Captain Stacy and Gwen. They smile at him, telling him how proud they are of the man he's become. They know the responsibility he's carried, the sacrifices he made, and despite every failure Peter blames himself for, they don't see someone who's fell short. They see a true hero. But they're not the only ones who think the same as well. As Peter's parents then step forward, they reveal that they've been watching over him for a long time now, and are happy with all of his accomplishments and achievements. But before Peter's dad could finish appreciating his son, he'd be cut off than no other than Uncle Ben himself. Oh, Peter, I hate to say this, but you have to go. You can't stay here. What? I don't get to... After all It's that one mistake, isn't it? When I let you down? But I've tried, Uncle Ben. I've tried so hard. That's not it at all, boy. You've more than earned your rest, and any other time, I'd give you my blessing. But you can't leave a man like Otto Octavius running around as Spider-Man or Peter Parker. You've built an amazing life. Don't you dare let him destroy it. I won't, Uncle Ben. Good. Now listen, there are no scales you have to balance. Not in my eyes. When this is over, then you can rest. Someone else can be Spider-Man. It's okay. Until then, you have one last thing to do. You need to get up and fight one more time. Come on, Peter. Get up. Peter finally wakes up back in Doc Ock's body, determined more than ever thanks to the motivating prep talk that his uncle gave him. Putting on this helmet, he says he's got the bad guys, the arsenal, and Doc Ock's super brain in his rapidly deteriorating body, and he's got a plan. a crazy one at that, as he tells his gang that they're gonna head to the authorities. And so they do that, and they pretty easily handle the cops and law enforcement. And after dealing with the police, Pete goes into the storage locker and searches for the special brain swapping bot. When successfully finding it though, he gets greeted by Carly holding a gun right in front of him, telling him to freeze. But he tries telling her that he isn't actually Doc Ock, and that he's actually Spider-Man, and that they both swap minds with each other. But of course, she isn't gonna believe an ounce of what this man is spouting out, and shoots him before one of the mechanical arms would come in and reflect the bullet back onto her, hitting her right in the arms. Going back to Otto and Pete's body, he gathers up all of Peter's loved ones and tricks them into thinking that Otto and his groups of villains will try and come after them, since Peter is technically connected to Spider-Man. Back at Doc Ock's lair, Pete takes apart the brain swapping robot in order to reverse the process and get him back to his own body. But then he'd be interrupted by quote-unquote Spider-Man being told that his secret base and comm system have been exploited. And before he dies, he hacked into the base's self-destruct device, which plans on blowing up and finishing off Otto, quote-unquote, before his body gets the best of him. But interestingly enough, he's already planned ahead and eliminated the device before it even had the chance of blowing up. So now, Spider-Man has a new plan, telling Otto that now he knows his current location and plans on telling it to the police. But why would he do that when he knows the police don't even stand a chance against a bunch of supervillains? Little does Buddy know, he's already accounted for that. He decides to equip the police force with a bunch of these death-killing machines. So Otto, or Pete in this scenario, grabs his squad and gets the hell out of there, leaving Trapster by himself because he thought Pete was gonna try and mind swap him, which wasn't even really the case. And him and the group end up in the sewers, where they end up stumbling upon this massive locked door. He puts in the passcode and the doors open up, leading to an elevator, as now they are officially at Avengers Tower. Pete thinks that if a guy like Trapster can figure out that Doc Ock's Octobot is a brain swapping device, then maybe someone like Iron Man or Beast could possibly see it and instantly spot it in a matter of a second. Now at first, this plan might actually sound pretty solid on paper, but unfortunately for Peter's luck, the Avengers are away. Also, spoiler alert, Otto is here with Spider-Man's body, and things start heating up because a whole battle breaks out and Otto is high-key winning in this 3v1 fight. And as the fight continues, Scorpion says that Jameson is currently located nearby in the Avengers Tower. So then Hydro and Scorpion run away from the fight to go and find Jameson, and Otto, hearing that Hydro Man and Scorpion are attempting to come after Jameson, he leaps off of Peter and goes after them, chasing them. Now after reading this page right here, I'm sorry to all three of the Hydro Man fans around the world, but I'm gonna have to just come clean and say it like this. Hydro Man has to be one of the lamest Spider-Man villains of all time. Because explain to me why, after he found Jameson and the rest of the civilians, his ass immediately gets sucked into this water hose. Like bro, come on, Hydro Man, you're not even losing to the hero, you're losing to a bunch of regular civilians, bro.
This nigga is trash.
Scorpion rips open through the walls and finally gets his chance to have Jameson onto himself. But just in time, Otto sweeps in and with his agility and power of Spider-Man, kicks Scorpion right in the face, staggering him back. Then Scorpion would come in with his tail and try to attack the web with it, but with his spider sense, he weaves out of the way and punches Scorpion so hard that his jaw literally comes off. And Jameson's parents over here are like, damn, he really just did that to him. But out of all the people that isn't even shaken up by Spider-Man literally removing this man's Scorpion's jaw off, this son of a bitch, J. Jonah Jameson, actually compliments Spider-Man for doing so. Like, come on, are you actually serious? The one time Jameson actually appreciates Spider-Man, it actually isn't even Spider-Man. Like, do you know how backwards that sentence sounds? Pete, seeing what Otto has done, grabs him by the neck and throws him out of the building. And while in midair, using his webs, Otto conjures up this web net to cushion the fall for both him and Pete. And when both of the two land, one of the mind-swapping bots manages to sneak up on Otto unguarded. And when given the chance to officially mind-swap Otto and Pete back into the original minds, it fails, horrifically, because Otto was actually smart enough to install an armor plate at the back of his mask, preventing the bot from swapping their minds again back to their original selves. And with Otto finally getting the upper hand on Pete, he smacks him away, shouting that victory's finally his, and he plans to finally finish off his arch nemesis once and for all. But Pete isn't done just yet. He has one last trick up his sleeve, because even though the Octobot he used didn't work out in his favor, it still had somewhat of a link. And with that partial link, Peter decides to bombard Otto of all of his memories, all of his struggles, hardships, challenges, and even battles. And at the end of it all, his plan ends up working out. I don't want this. Too late. Careful what you wish for, Spidey. Tell me, why do I? How can I do this? Because you have to. Because with great power must come great responsibility. I understand. You better. You're Spider-Man now. MJ. They're all here? Let me see them. Here. Promise me you'll keep them safe. I promise. That's all I ever... Peter? Farewell, Peter Parker. Know this. I will carry on your name. You may be leaving this world, but you're not leaving it to a villain. I swear, I will be Spider-Man. Better yet, with my unparalleled genius and boundless ambition, I'll be a better Spider-Man than you ever were. From this day forth, I shall become the superior Spider-Man.